According to one Hockey Hall of Famer, the Ottawa Senators just schooled and methodically dismantled the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Welcome to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller and Laleem's Martian. The postcast always brought to you by our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. We're counting down the days. Just 2 weeks until we're boots on the bus. Get your tickets at GlebeCentralPub.com for that Anaheim game and the San Jose game March 14th and 15th. We cannot wait to see you at the Glebe Central Pub. Ottawa with a 5-2 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs in what looked like men versus boys. Pilsy, what are your thoughts on that quote that I just read from Chris Pronger, of all people?
Well, I was going to say, that's really nice of you to say, Ross, but I'm actually not a Hockey Hall of Famer. But I guess Chris Pronger had the same thoughts as I had, and all Ottawa Senators fans, and probably all Toronto Maple Leafs fans. Any single person that has two eyeballs and a brain could tell you that the Ottawa Senators absolutely schooled the Toronto Maple Leafs here. And the one thing I'm upset about, Ross, is I don't know if this happened to you guys, but the Sportsnet feed cut away from the game too fast. I didn't get to see the crowd shots of the sad Maple Leafs. I wanted more tears. I thought this could be a night, maybe some jerseys thrown on the ice, because if you're a Leafs fan and you paid half your mortgage to go see this game at the Scotiabank Library, and that's the effort you got, I would have been pretty pissed too. But we don't have to worry about that. We're Ottawa Senators fans here, and we get to revel in a 5-2 win in the Battle of Ontario.
And let's not forget, the Maple Leafs scored first in this game on their first shot against the Ottawa Senators. Ottawa gave up a power play a minute, not even into the game. They killed it off, but right afterwards, Morgan Rielly walks in all alone and scores on the weak side, making this 1-0. But even at that point, Martian, the Sens were dominating this game right from puck drop.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure at one point, boys, the shots was 20-4. It was ridiculous how many shots the Sens were getting compared to the Leafs. And I think that's just great credit to the Sens playing in the neutral zone. They were really stifling them there in the middle of the ice, and the Leafs really couldn't get a lot of shots out. So it was a good job by the Sens shutting down the middle of the ice there.
Quick thought. Somebody replied to Chris Pronger saying this doesn't make up for 2007 against Dean McCammon, and Pronger replied with the gif of it zooming in on Justin Timberlake, looking side to side. I just had to get a kick out of that one. This whole game was a laugh, and you look at it, and I had multiple people who were boots on the ground texting me, buddies, my nephew was at the game, and they were saying, it's a library in there. One of my good buddies, remember my buddy that we went out for drinks with at Union last time we were in Ottawa, Pilsy, he was there with his wife and newborn baby, and they had the headphones on the newborn. They can't have the loud noises. I said, buddy, you don't even need those. That place was so quiet the entire night, even when they were up 1-0. And I'm going to go out and say it. Ottawa gave a better reaction to Brady Tkachuk winning the gold medal than the Leafs gave to Austin Matthews. Thoughts?
Big time. Yeah, there was, I would say, mostly boos with some cheers trying to drown out the boos when Matthews was named. And normally when you get named like that, the camera goes on you and you give a little salute to the crowd or a head nod or something. Matthews was like, thanks.
It's really funny, that the loudest that crowd was booing Austin Matthews for that, and then booing their team's play on the ice at the end of the game. That was the only times I really ever heard the Leafs fans. I actually thought there was a decent little crowd pop when the Sens scored too. I don't know if it was just a small and mighty group of people in there making a lot of noise, but I thought there was a decent little pop there.
And Martian, you're usually one of those guys that can find that air of quiet time right before the anthem goes, and you get one sort of word in. We heard a "Go Sens Go" right before the anthem started, so that was a good sign right from the top. And it did seem like there was more Sens fans there than usual. So shout out Sens fans.
I feel like it's just because it's not as wild as in Ottawa and in Buffalo when it's Montreal and Toronto, but just like in Winnipeg, just like in Toronto, we're about to see it in Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver. Yep. Senators fans show up across the country. So I'm not going to say more than usual because I've been an away fan in Toronto, and you can fist pump in the concourse. It's a good number of Sens fans, and they showed up tonight, and we absolutely love to see it. They had a lot to cheer for as well, especially in the second period where they pulled all the way away in this game. And you know what? William Nylander, he gets a goal right in the middle of it, and it just makes it a Sens sandwich. 2 goals, William Nylander. 2 goals for the Ottawa Senators. And it was funny because it's a legit sandwich. You had Cozens score, then Batherson, then Nylander, then Batherson, and then Cozens again. So it's a nice little move there for Ottawa. But all 4 of those Senators goals were scored in a span of 13 minutes in this game. There were 4 goals in a span of 3 minutes and 1 second. Batherson gets his 20th of the season. Then Nylander scored 50 seconds later. Then it was Batherson again. And the Dylan Cozens goal on the power play was the 20th of the year. Let's dive in to when it was 3-2 Ottawa. This was the moment that changed the entirety of this game. Batherson with a little pass up. Stützle loses it at the blue line, but he's already got too much momentum. So he's already down at the hash marks, but a puck battle in the neutral zone. Matthew Knies gets bumped by Claude Giroux, but in doing that action, Knies passes the puck into his own zone. Good on Batherson for understanding, processing that quickly and saying, no, they pushed it over the line. It's not offside, despite Stützle being so deep. He walks in and just rips it. What a goal. What an effort. And then they try to challenge the play, which was mind-blowing. Mike King would never have challenged that, but they made him pay on the power play right after. And can we talk about how many sticks Tim Stützle's pass went through to get to Dylan Cozens there? I think all 4 Leafs on the ice were in that same line, and somehow it ends up on Dylan Cozens' stick. Unreal.
Yeah, that was definitely the turning point of the game. I would love to have been a fly on the wall for the video coach talking to the Leafs bench, being like, we got to challenge that. Like, I don't understand. Even Chris Cuthbert was like, when's the last time the Sens even touched the puck here? So, like, how could the Leafs not think or assume that they had possession or they brought it back into the zone? And that's one I always say it. Look at the reactions from the players from the goals. You can't hide your initial immediate reaction. Drake Batherson didn't score that one and then go, that was nice, but it's probably getting turned back. He scored and he was fired up and the boys were loving it. So I just a complete baffling move. Like you said, Ross, gold medalist Michael King would never have challenged that. He was probably sitting there laughing, being like, this is an absolute clown show of a video coach challenge there. And then to get it on the power play as well, that iced it right there. Like the Sens were pressing, they were dominating, but that sequence is what really put the icing on the cake here.
Yeah, and Dylan Cozens' goal there made it 5-2. No scoring in the third period. Ottawa had a few chances. Heck, even the Leafs had a few chances. That had to be good for Linus Ullmark's confidence to make that save at the end of the game on Easton Cowan. Marshy?
Yeah, and like I said, he wasn't getting a lot of action early in the game too, so it's good to see that, he gets a good amount of shots coming and a good amount of quality shots too. I think after that scrum, the Leafs kind of got a little bit of jump in their game, and that's where I think they ended up getting a good amount of their shots from after that. But good for Ullmark to get a little bit of confidence. We're going to need him, right? And he looked shaky at the start of this game. I'm sure we're not going to get into that just because of the outcome here with the win. You can't really complain about the goaltending too much, but
I mean, I got a spin zone on it.
I didn't really like what I saw. Yeah, go for it.
My spin zone on it is that it was 2 goals on 7 shots, which means that he stopped the last 14 that he faced in this game.
Yeah, 14 in a row. That's what that is a good spin zone though, Ross. I'll give you that.
Appreciate it. Hey, he ends the game with a .913 save percentage. If he wants to keep doing that, by all means, go right ahead.
Yeah, it was tough to watch at the start. I don't know about you guys, but I had my head in my hands and was like, oh man, this is how this game's going to go. But at the end of the day, I do not give a damn what Ullmark, Reimer, Levi Merrilainen, Hunter Shepard, Matt Sogard, or Jackson Parsons' stats are for this team, or Ross Levitan. I don't care what the goalie stats are as long as they get the win. And if the Ottawa Senators keep playing like this as a team, they're not going to have to worry too much about what the goalie stats are either, because they're going to dominate other teams. Now, are you going to get to play a team as lifeless as the Maple Leafs every night? No. But if you can play that sound hockey, that I think you said it, Martian, the way they played in the neutral zone is what won them this game. Like the Leafs just couldn't get anything into the zone and even begin to get zone pressure. Like William Nylander, they were talking about it. This guy makes a living off of cherry picking and getting breakaways, and he wasn't having that kind of luck in the neutral zone this game. He tried to jump over a body check on the boards and couldn't get past, and he's like, what's going on tonight? So the Sens just really did a good job of not allowing the Leafs to burst through the neutral zone or enter the zone with ease.
We always talk about shots on goal, but shot attempts are a great indicator as well. In the first period tonight, overall, the shot attempts were 28-4 in favor of the Ottawa Senators. And in the totality of this game, the shot attempts were 74-43 for Ottawa. So not only were they giving up nothing, but they were also getting a lot of shots through, and not all of them hit the net, but they were trying. Shane Pinto had 13 shot attempts in tonight's game.
2 posts, I think, maybe even more. Like, he was buzzing.
Yeah, that's what they need to do, Ross, is that we talked about that neutral zone play defensively, but then transitioning it into offense is the Ottawa Senators style of play that we need them to have going down this stretch here.
Yeah, we got lots more coming here. Go ahead. Sorry, it just blacked out. We're doing better, though. We're working on Marshy's internet. It's doing a lot better, but it did just black for 2 seconds there. I jump in, and I do that because on the other side of the break, we got a boots on the ground report from the library. Just how quiet was it? Marshy, I'm not sure if you can see who's down there. It's one of your favorite Sens fans in the world.
Dougie Darby.
We'll get to our SensCentral Standouts and the chat next. You're listening to the Postcast presented by Locked On Senators. The Postcast is brought to you by our good friends over at the Glebe Central Pub. Check out the Glebe Central Pub at 779 Bank Street. They got awesome food, great drinks, an atmosphere to match, and I cannot wait to get to Ottawa 2 weeks from today. We will be riding the bus for that 1 p.m. matinee game against the Anaheim Ducks. Come to the pub early. We're going to be there right from open at 10 a.m. They're going to have great breakfast specials on for everybody, and the boots will be on the bus at 11:30. That's when the bus leaves, $18 round trip, and it'll bring you right back to the pub afterwards. And our plan is to just spend the night at the pub. Why is it such an easy decision? Well, how about live music? Free live music. I'm in. The vibes are going to be immaculate. So head there any day, but especially 2 Saturdays from now. We will see you at the Glebe Central Pub. And you can head there every night of the week. They got wing night on Monday, open mic night on Wednesday. There's always something going on at the Glebe Central Pub. So if you're over at Lansdowne, you're downtown, anywhere, your steps from the Glebe Central Pub, 779 Bank Street, let them know that Locked On Senators sent you.
This postcast is also brought to you by our friends over at Indeed. Workplace chaos, deadlines stacking up, inbox overflowing, and the one position you have to fill still sitting open. When the pressure's on and you need the right hire, this is a job for sponsored jobs. Indeed, sponsored jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location, so you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And here's a stat. Since I've been talking, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed worldwide, according to Indeed data. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who actually check your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Less time searching, more time interviewing, less stress, less time, more results. When you need the right person to cut through the chaos, this is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs. And listeners of this show, you're going to get yourselves a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on the Locked On Senators podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? This is a job for Indeed sponsored jobs.
Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller and Lalim's Martian. 5-2, the Senators defeat the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Shots on goal 40-23 in favor of Ottawa. Sens go 1 for 3 on the power play. The Leafs go 0 for 2. The Leafs win 51% of the faceoffs in this game. Hits were 27-24 for Ottawa. Blocks were 15-6 for Toronto. But if you think about it, how many shot attempts did Toronto have to get blocked? Senators with 59% of the expected goals at 5-on-5. If you're looking at the scorers in tonight's game, well, it was the guys that needed to come through. Thomas Chabot gets his 6th goal of the season. Dylan Cozens, his 19th and 20th goals. Drake Batherson with his 20th and 21st goals of the season. More on our standouts in a little bit, but let's get to a man who was boots on the ground tonight. We'll go to nearby Scotiabank Arena, where we find our good friend Dougie Darby. This guy is all smiles. What's up, brother?
I like it. Hey, thanks. First of all, give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. Okay, beauty. I'm having a really hard time hearing you because of where I am, but that was a hell of a game. That was exactly how I wanted the boys to play. I mean, we didn't get the result in the last game. I thought we outplayed them. We didn't get the result that we deserved, but man, we deserved to win today, man. Like, it wasn't even close. Honestly, if I'm a Toronto fan, I'm upset because I can't figure out if it was our play or them being lethargic, because those guys just were not moving.
Dougie, we talked a little bit about the fans in Toronto and how quiet they are. Can you give us a little bit of a boots on the ground report on the Scotiabank Arena crowd tonight?
Okay, they were pretty hyped up when they got that first goal, but we answered back, and they weren't that hyped because, like, we were just outplaying them. Like, they just weren't getting any shots. And I mean, what was it? 3 shots for the first period. And there was a commercial break, and I'm looking up at the shot count. I'm like, that's 3 shots. And suddenly there's a 4th shot occurs during the commercial break, which I don't know. So I was making fun of my surrounding Leaf fans that you guys got a shot during commercial. So you're in Toronto when. But they were quiet.
Oh, dude, you're never quiet at the game. I know Dougie's never quiet at the game. We've been to a few with you. You're an absolute beauty. Give me a SensCentral standout in tonight's game, Dougie.
Oh, you know what? It's got to be Cozens. I mean, Cozens was all over the place. I felt so bad. I want to say Amadio. I thought he scored. Like, I don't. Oh, go ahead. I thought he scored. I felt bad for Pinto. He rang one off the post. Stu, oh my God. I was 40 feet away when he one-time. Wool had a great save. So you got to hand it to Wool. But yeah, it's Cozens all day, man.
Final question for me, Doug. We talked about the Leafs fans being quiet, but it seemed like there was a lot of Sens fans at the game. How awesome was it to celebrate 5 goals and celebrate the win with fellow Sens fans?
I love going to a Leaf game is in Toronto. Sorry, a Sens game in Toronto as much in a way as I love going in Ottawa, because I say hello to every Senators fan. Like, I take the GO train up. And if I see some Senators guys, they're getting high fives, getting pounds, and they're always just nice people. And we always end up charming the Leaf fans, and they want to hang with us. You know what I mean? Because we're a good time, right? And we're respectful. You know what I mean? I give a polite little clap when they score, but when we score, it's the absolute greatest. So, but yeah, and we went over the crowd around us just because we're, I don't know, like you can cheer hard, but you don't have to be mean spirited or anything like that. And I find Ottawa fans are really like that on the road. Like, they're just respectful and they cheer, but they're not derogatory, no inflammatory comments. And we were just vibing today, man. Like, honest to God, like every single Senators guy that I saw, somehow I missed Dr. Bob. I'm sorry I missed him, but yeah.
That's the best. You're the best, Dougie. Hey, have a couple extra tonight. You got a big Sens win in your back pocket. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, that's guaranteed. I have one for each one of you. Bing, bang, boom. Thanks,
there
boys.
You go. Hey, there goes Doug. You can follow him on Twitter, Douglas_Darby. That guy is just an all-time vibe. I love that guy.
We love Doug.
Oh, when Dougie was at the the home opener where he brought the wrestling match, like the Macho Man mask?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a character. He's a beauty. He's a good time Charlie, man. Being around that guy it's infectious, honestly. I'm a little bit disappointed. He invited me up for the weekend to go and watch this one, but I wasn't able to make it. So now I feel like I've got FOMO.
Dude, I sent him the note at 10:22. Hey, you good for a boots on the ground report? He goes, oh, you threw me off a bit, but yeah, how do I jump on? I just sent him the link and away you go. That's called producing, baby. The Sens produced an enormous result tonight. 5-2 was the final score. Before we get to our SensCentral standouts, which we'll do that on the other side, let's talk about that gong show that happened in the middle of the third period. Ridley Gregg bangs into the net. Shocker. And then all mayhem broke loose. Pillsy, what'd you see on that play?
I mean, Stolarz has got to chill out a bit. Like, you don't want your glove poked, but I don't think it was anything too egregious. Like, you could be upset about it, but he goes right after him. And it's because it's Ridley Gregg. Like, he is just in their heads. They just go absolutely bananas when they see Ridley Gregg do anything. They can't help themselves. Instant wire cross. And then it just turns into a complete gong show. Shout out Jake Sanderson. He gets put in a headlock right away. He slips out of it and puts the Leafs guy in a headlock. Nick Cozens is over with Scott Laughton, and every single person in the NHL knows Nick Cozens is I'll give you 5 of my worst chirps, voted worst chirper in the NHL. I'll let you punch me once in the face, voted most punchable face in the NHL, and then I'll turtle and get out of there. But there was only enough linesmen to cover everyone else. So Nick Cozens is like, oh crap, I'm in uncharted territory here. I'm in a fight that a linesman can't break up and I can't just duck out of the way of. So he's like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. And then Laughton gets going at him and he's like, all right, that's enough. And Nick Cozens actually throws a couple of good ones. And I was actually surprised for a guy that is involved in lots of fights, but never actually fights. He actually handled himself pretty well.
But he still tried to pull the shoot during the fight. Where
totally. But then he realized
then he had to get back up.
He couldn't do it. He was like, oh no, there's no one coming to save me. I actually have to fight in this fight. So that was pretty hilarious. But yeah, I mean, like, what are you going to do? You can't blame the Leafs. They're like, we suck at hockey tonight. The only thing we can try to do is be a bunch of goons. And they didn't even really succeed at that. Like Nick Jensen, that guy's not fighting anyone, and he's getting wrestled to the ground, and he's still holding his own without throwing a punch. Like it was just crazy. And for that to be 5-on-5 is just hilarious. Like, I don't know what color goggles refs are wearing lately, but like the other night, Ridley Gregg getting a penalty after he got absolutely taken down to the ice, RKO WWE style. And then the Sens just trying to hold off and defend themselves there. They don't end up with the power play. It was wild. And then later on, Brady gets a penalty, and you can see it in real time. He's laughing at the lineman holding him, being like, wait, I'm getting a penalty here? Like, it was wild. I mean, you got to feel bad for the Leafs, and like, sure, chuck them a power play that they can't score on. Sens worst road PK in the league, I believe at 65.5% on the road penalty kill, and the Leafs can't even get a goal up against them. So you feel bad for the poor Leafs fans.
No, you really don't. The only thing I didn't really like there was Max Domi he just kept hammering Jensen from behind to the point where Sanderson felt the need to like take his guy with him to Domi. And then Domi was like pulling Sandy's hair when they were on the ground and doing whatever he could because he knows that's how he's going to stay in the league beyond this contract that I don't know who gave him, but maybe they want a refund on that one. Just absolutely brutal. Chat's buzzing. We'll get to it next. And all of our SensCentral standouts, of which there are many. Next, you're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. If you ever wanted to experience the NBA Finals live and in person, well, FanDuel is giving you the chance to turn that dream into reality with their NBA sweepstakes. Here's how it works. Use your profit boost on any NBA future, and you'll be automatically entered for a shot to win an NBA Finals trip for 2. That's right. Flights, tickets, the whole experience. So if you're already looking at the board and thinking about which team can make a deep run, this is the perfect time to lock in. I love betting futures this time of year, whether it's picking a team to win the championship or grab a conference title. It adds that extra layer of excitement for every game down the stretch. And now, not only can your pick win, but it can also send you to the finals. So visit FanDuel.com to get started. Use your profit boost on an NBA future and get entered for your chance to win a trip to the NBA Finals. Play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at Factor. Cold days, packed schedules, and big goals. That's winter. And when there's not a lot of time to cook, eating well can feel like another thing on the to-do list. That's where Factor comes in. Factor makes healthy eating easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitian and created by chefs so that you can eat well without the planning, prepping, or cooking. Factor meals are always fresh, never frozen, and ready in about 2 minutes. Ingredients: lean protein, colorful veggies, whole foods, healthy fats, no refined sugar, No artificial sweetener and no refined seed oils. Over 100 rotating meals each week. Perfect for busy weeks when you still want meals that support your goals without stress. Head to factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 off and use code LockedOnNHL50 off and get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while the subscription is active. Welcome back to the postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller and Lifeless Martian. The Ottawa Senators with 2 points tonight, and that brings them to within 5 points of the Boston Bruins for the final playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. The Columbus Blue Jackets lost in overtime tonight. They're tied with Ottawa now. They do have a game in hand. Washington lost in regulation. Now, it was to Montreal, but they still lost in regulation. So they're at 69 points. But Ottawa has 3 games in hand on the Washington Capitals. The Boston Bruins lost today in regulation. So that is what's keeping them in the second wildcard spot. And the Detroit Red Wings lost, which is great, but it's like, if they had just been able to beat them the other night, it would look so much different. But there's still time left. 23 games remaining. The Senators are now 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. And this is the first game, Pillsy, since the first one of this stretch where they didn't have to be puckered up until the third period, right? Even the games where they ended up being 4-1 against New Jersey. It was 2-1 late in the game. New Jersey actually thought they tied it with 3 minutes left. The Colorado game ends up being a 3-goal game. We were stressing our way through that one. They beat Philly in overtime. They lose to Carolina by 1 goal. They beat Pittsburgh by 1 goal. So this was just a nice, let's put our feet up on a Saturday night and enjoy a nice big win.
Yeah, it was great, Ross. And I know a lot of other Sens fans, you probably got lots of Leafs fans in your life. So it was nice for me not to have any of those people bothering me, trying to get on me. They were awfully quiet, of the Leafs family and friends that I have in my life. So it's nice. I got to sit back, enjoy it, and get ready for the postcast. We got 354 Sens fans in here. The chat's buzzing. It's just a great way to end a Saturday night, Marshy.
Yeah, nights like these are the kind of nights you like to hear from the Leafs fans for once. Like these are the tears that we like to drink, right, Pills? Like you go online, you get to read tweets from Jay Rosehill talking about how they're lifeless and emotionless and pathetic. And then, it just reminds me of those days when, the Leafs are getting eliminated from the playoffs. Like that's the best time to consume Leafs content. And tonight's just a little bit of an appetizer for all that. Who knows how the season's going to end up for them? It doesn't look good, but it's exciting time to be a Sens fan right now after a big win.
The only problem with that, though, Marshy, is I can already foresee the Leafs report. I can already foresee all of their post-game shows and our guys, Mikey and Dave over at Locked On Leafs. They're not going to give the Senators any credit for tonight. They're just going to say, we stunk. And you know what? They did. They were awful.
They barely gave us any credit even during tonight's broadcast. Like the whole thing, like Craig Simpson was they're trying to find a way for the Leafs to come back and find a spark. That's all he kept on saying. They can find a way to get a spark here. It's like he was trying to get Leafs fans to continue watching this game. A few mentions of like Jake Sanderson, playing well and things like that. And that seems to be the default for whatever reason for Sportsnet is, let's just talk about Jake Sanderson or Tim Stützle or Brady Tkachuk here. They don't really talk about how like the team is actually playing as a whole compared to what they're usually looking like. It was just it's always a little bit of an adventure with the podcast.
I can give you a little eye test Senators angle. Pilsy, I thought Nick Jensen was awesome tonight. He was skating really well. He was making great little poke plays. He was disrupting. Like, that was one of the best games I've seen him play in a long time.
And not even that this was a great game from him, Ross, but more importantly, it's been a while since I've looked at Nick Jensen and really felt like, okay, like we have a Nick Jensen problem here. Either trade him or just scratch him, get Martin Paolo in, bring someone up from Belleville. Like, he's been perfectly unnoticeable, in my opinion, which is fine. And you talk about how Thomas Chabot needed him to elevate his game last season. Thomas Chabot had one of his best games of the season tonight. So, and if Nick Jensen is quietly helping him along with that, that's all we need.
Yeah, that's all we need. We also need to get to the SensCentral standouts. But before we get to that, Marsh, you got something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, maybe the break is something that was good for a guy like Nick Jensen, right? Obviously, coming into the season off that injury, maybe he just went out there, hit a beach, maybe got a little massage, a little red light therapy, some vitamin D in the system, just relaxation, that little bit of healing time for old Nicky. That's probably good for him.
Hell yeah. Let's get to the chat here. Vern kicks us off. Nothing better than beating the Leafs on a hockey night in Canada. I'll go a step further. Winning in Toronto. There's something special about that. Going into that barn, just knowing that the average ticket price is like triple Ottawa, and just saying, you guys are all just taking the GO train back to Hamilton, Ajax, Newmarket. You're not walking down the street and getting a win. Not tonight. So, yeah, there ain't nothing better than beating the Leafs in hockey night in Canada. Love to see it. Actually, you know what? A win Tuesday in Edmonton might rival it. That's what the Senators need to look forward to next. Can Control Life, solid win. Need to get a streak going. Go Sens, go. Shout out Can Control Life, longtime citizen. Appreciate that. Oh, speaking of longtime citizens, Sens fan and Van says, yay, win, but driving us crazy when they do not shoot in the slot. Pillsy, were you noticing that at all tonight?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, but they did get 40 shots. And what'd you say, Ross? 73 shot attempts?
74. Close.
74. So,
hey, maybe they added one, like Dougie said they did on the shot total for the Leafs.
Yeah. So that's fair. Sometimes I have that feeling, but tonight you're not going to see me complaining about where shots were from when they get 40 of them and score 5.
Yeah, Vernie hitting us with a Go Sens go again. Thanks so much, Vern.
Go,
You're all over us tonight. We appreciate the heck out of that.
Right.
Love beating the Leafs. Best games to build momentum. Momentum, well said. That's what they need right now, is to get on a big time run. Sens fan and Van, did the refs hate the Sens? Discuss. I didn't love how the reffing was tonight, but you know what? The linesmen were on point, because how many linesmen would blow that down on the play, and then you can't even ask the question afterwards whether or not. And if we had seen the amount of speed that Batherson was going in with on that play, we would have been beside ourselves. So the linesmen made up for the refs tonight. That's what I'll go with here. Thomas writes in, I harped on him so much. Oh, Jensen, nice. I didn't see this before I mentioned. Too bad we just spoke about it, Thomas, but that's a great point. Jensen has been so much better the last couple of games, winning puck battles on the boards, much faster. Seems like the break did him a lot of good. We basically parroted everything you just said there. I wish I had seen that before, but great minds think alike, Thomas. We appreciate that. And then Sens fan and Van, I will address this because people were asking me during the week offline. It's almost gone here. I was just having a little cat nap on the couch, as a dad does when the baby goes to bed. I don't know what happened. I think the dog noticed someone outside, and he tried to just jump over me and just scratch my face right off. So I'm okay, though. We battle through these kind of things. I gave him 3 treats instead of 5 the next day. That was his big punishment. So, yeah, I feel like I got even with him. But, yeah, no, just the old dog getting a little handsy with me. That's okay, though.
Yeah, dogs don't like cat naps. That's what that is.
Nice, Pills.
Oh, that's very nice. All right, boys. SensCentral standouts here tonight. Senators 5-2 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe just to start it out, I'll continue, and we'll each do one after this. But Dougie had Dylan Cozens. I think it's worth noting Dylan Cozens' stat line tonight. 2 goals and an assist in this game. I thought he was all over it offensively. But if you look at it as well, when he was on the ice at 5-on-5, the shot attempts were 16-8 in favor of Ottawa. The goals were 2-1 for Ottawa. He also obviously got a power play cookie as well when he was on the ice for it. Dylan Cozens was awesome in this game. And we're seeing that more and more from him basically since the Vancouver game, or the Rangers game where he had 3 points in the first period. Since that game, he's been one of their best forwards, and it's no surprise that it comes when Brady Tkachuk and Ridley Gregg have been reunited on their line. That whole line's been awesome. So, yeah, if you guys have any comments on Dylan Cozens, go ahead. Otherwise, we can just move right on to our SensCentral standouts.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I like it when he gets himself engaged physically in the game early on. I find that that's when he starts, ending up producing offense. He gets himself into the game. 6 hits tonight, and you knew it was gonna be his night, Ross, when his first goal comes off that Thomas Chabot point shot, and it just drops at his feet, and he's looking at an open net. You got to be in the right spot, obviously there, but I mean that's just kind of a nice treat for him to get started on the point night here for him.
Marshy, who's your standout?
I'm gonna jump. Okay, I'm gonna jump right into it then. I'll go with Thomas Chabot. I mean, you said it earlier. I thought he had an incredible night. Goal and an assist. His goal was a rip. I mean, he's coming through the middle, gets a great pass after the end of the zone as the trailer, and he just makes no mistake and he rips that thing top shelf. And then I just mentioned the assist there as well. 3 shots on goal for the guy. A solid, almost 22 minutes for Thomas Chabot. I think he was involved all night and good on the defensive side too. I mean, he was shutting down plays, getting poke checks in, turning pucks over, and heading the other way with it. So I loved his game. I'm going to go with Thomas Chabot.
He is a dog against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the regular season. He's now got 20 points in 28 career games against Toronto. And I remember being boots on the ground in 2019 where he absolutely dismantled and schooled Igor Ozhiganov. And I tweeted that today. Igor Ozhiganov. And it was an absolutely sick goal. But yeah, he's got something when it's the Leafs where he's just going to make you look absolutely silly. So I think that's a great call out to go with Thomas Chabot in this game. I'm trying to find the photo of me after that game. You boys won't even recognize me, honestly. But I had the biggest SHIT eating grin on my face. Oh, how can I pull it? When people get upset. When I look at that.
Yeah, you look like Nick Cozens sitting in the box.
That's me 2019 watching Thomas Chabot just go over. Look at that, eh? Just a little wee lad going through Igor Ozhiganov. Amazing. There's a reason I have a beard, eh, boys?
No, you look good there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Pillsy, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, well, Cozens and Chabot definitely were my number 1, 2. So great job by Dougie and Marshy there. But I have no shame in taking Drake Batherson as my SensCentral standout. And I don't think there could be a guy that could have timed this better for this game, because Sens fans on Twitter were already putting Drake Batherson in their mock trades, being like, this guy's been invisible. He's a great value contract. He can be the biggest asset for the Sens. Trade him for someone else in the top 6. People forget this guy's second on the team in points. And sure, is he a streaky player? Absolutely. He'll score in bunches. How about 2 tonight? Almost a hat trick. He'll go quiet for a couple games. His B game can be a little, as Martian would like to say, Harry Potter in the restricted section, a little invisible. You can't always find him out there. But when he's playing good, he is on it. And he was lighting it up tonight. I was hoping so bad he would have scored on that penalty or that breakaway and got the hat trick, because I believe Drake Batherson holds the last hat trick the Ottawa Senators have. So it would have been nice for him to be like just beating his own record there and getting it. But Ross, I'll let you hop in. I'll just finish the stat line. 2 goals plus 1, 17 minutes, 46 seconds, 5 shots on goal, and 1 hit for Drake Batherson.
Yeah, and the last hat trick was actually the game where they put Wade Redden in the Ring of Honor.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was against the Ducks. I think they beat him 5-2 or 5-1, and he had a hat trick in that game. So it's been far too long since we've had a hat trick, and two guys were on Hattie watch going to the third period. So when Ottawa got that power play late in the third on a little greasy slash by Morgan Riley by the bench, I was like, tee up Cozens for the one-timer and have Batherson net front. And if he gets a stick on, he gets a stick on. Otherwise, give it to Cozens. Like, that's what, because, guys always feed whoever's looking for a Hattie when the game's out of reach. But it's like, when you got 2 out there, how are you going to play it? So I kind of was jokingly thinking that might be the way to go. But Drake Batherson, a great call out for your SensCentral standout tonight. Yeah, I mean, we've covered the 3 guys properly who had the best games. And how many times do we go with Jake Sanderson? So maybe I'll leave him tonight, although I still think he was phenomenal. And I'm going to go with the captain of this team, Brady Tkachuk. He was physical early in the game, threw a couple big hits on the forecheck, He gets that great primary assist on the opening goal for Ottawa. Awesome play, by the way, by Dylan Cozens on the breakout on that one too. But for Brady, a little backhander to find Thomas Chabot like that, I thought that was great. And I thought Brady brought the emotion and everything else that you could hope for in tonight's game. He finishes with 6 shots and 6 hits. This is like the most Brady stat line ever. We're just missing a goal in there, but he had an assist, was +2 with all those hits. He was 75%, which I'd imagine was 3 for 4 in the faceoff dot tonight. The captain has come back with a bang. He's got the goal and an assist now in 2 games, and he's leading this team the way we were asking him to, coming back from his gold medal. So I want to give some love to the captain, Brady Tkachuk. I thought he was great tonight.
Yeah, good call. He was flying tonight, Ross. I thought in the offensive zone especially, he was buzzing around there really good, banging bodies like you said. So yeah, classic vintage Brady Tkachuk. He's right back, boys. That Olympic gold medal, it's not weighing him down at all out there. He's looking good.
And Senator with a great point here too, where he's saying like after he took that penalty where they only grabbed him out of the pile, whatever, him and Benoit, sure, he got a little rabbit punch in there. Why wouldn't you? Have you seen Simon Benoit's face? I'd give him one too. But then you look at the next time down the ice, Dakota Joshua was trying to goad him into taking another one, and he just smirked at him. He's like, buddy, get out of here. So thought that was a nice little laugh in the game too. Pillsy, any final thoughts after this 5-2 win? Dr. Bob in the chat saying Brady was on his game. Well, if it's good enough for Dr. Bob, it's good enough for me.
And Dr. Bob is making his way to Edmonton, driving there.
Beautiful drive, though.
I love the drive. I've done it a couple times all the way to BC, and I love it. So enjoy the drive, Bob. Stay safe.
I've never been in Saskatchewan, and I feel like at 34 years old at this point, I should just make it like a bit that I've been to every Canadian province, not the territories, but every province except for Sask. So I don't know if I can do that part of the drive ever.
Yeah, well, just dip through Montana there. You can still do it. Just avoid it.
Just as a bit. Hey, just as a bit. Hey, I gotta avoid Sask and all. Hey, I love Sask, but I feel like it's too funny at this point to not keep it rolling. But dude, side note, that drive from basically Sudbury until Thunder Bay is like one of the most beautiful parts of the country that nobody talks about.
Yeah, it's so underrated. I always tell people that's one of my favorite parts of the drive because and it's also great. We're getting off hand here, but it's also great because either it's the start of your drive or the start portion of your drive, and you're like, oh, this is really nice. Or if you're coming back, you're like, oh, I'm almost home. So like it's that sweet spot of the drive where you're either completely bored out of your mind and you're like, finally, I'm getting there, or you're still feeling good about the road trip. And it's just beautiful. Great landscape. Nothing else out there. Make sure you fill up in Wawa, Dr. Bob, because once you get past there, there's no cell service or gas for hundreds of kilometers, but beautiful spot.
Chris Simon, Wawa's legend. I think they got a statue of him when you get into that town.
Nice. I think there's like a massive goose there too. That's probably the statue you're thinking of, not Chris Simon. But speaking of driving in Ontario, the Ottawa Senators own Ontario again. It's a great feeling winning the Battle of Ontario like that. Even if Ross, you're just waltzing through the battle, it's still great to win it, and it's great to keep the Leafs down there. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. They go to Florida and get absolutely trounced like that, and then they think they can come home and fix it, and this is the performance they have. So it's nice to at least be like, okay, we're gaining some grounds on the teams we need to gain on. We're keeping them down because before or coming right after the break, the Olympic break, these two teams were tied. So you want to make sure you're boosting ahead of them, and the Ottawa Senators put it into their own hands, and they did that tonight.
Oh, two other things. One, when you're doing that drive, you'll also go through Dryden, Ontario, hometown of Chris Pronger, who we led the show with that tweet. Ottawa, schooling and dismantling the Toronto Maple Leafs. But I'm going to end off with a stat here that I read from Tyler. Great follow on Twitter at that word doesn't do it for me. Politics TCAN. Anyways, okay. In Linus Ullmark's last 9 decisions, so in games where he either gets a win-loss or overtime loss, so this cherry picks out the game he got pulled before the leave of absence where he did not get the decision but did not play well. Linus Ullmark is 7-0-2 with a 918 save percentage in his last 9 decisions.
That's crazy to think of. Wow.
7-0-2. Like, that's shocking to me. But anyways, a stat is a stat is a stat. Marshy, final thoughts on today's show?
No, we're on to Edmonton here, boys. Big road trip, and I hope they are able to carry this momentum right through it.
And I want to see lots of videos from boots on the ground in Alberta because, like we said off the top, Sens fans, they do travel well, and we want to make sure to get the retweets going and get the visibility up on anybody who is cheering on the Sens from Western Canada. And if you're at the game in Seattle, we want to see from that as well. Hoping to get some boots on the ground reports here as we go to next week and take advantage of this victory Sunday, Sens fans, because after tonight, the Senators play every other day until the break on March 12th and 13th, and that break has to be to refuel for our boots on the ground back-to-back on that weekend, March 14th, 15th, on home ice against the Anaheim Ducks and San Jose Sharks. Lots of hockey between now and then, lots of games to get points, and the Sens are going to need them to make a push for the playoffs. For The Martian and Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan, and this has been a 5-2 win postcast, vibecast, if you will, with the Senators getting the upper hand. We'll break this all down on Monday's show, tee up a big week ahead, and it's trade deadline week, so we'll discuss what the Ottawa Senators must do to try and improve their chances at a postseason spot. Shout out to the chat. Let's get some Go Sens Goes in the chat. Hit the like button while you're down there. Subscribe to Locked On Senators on YouTube as well as your favorite audio podcasting platform. It really does help us grow the show. We are your team every day. This has been the 355th postcast that we have done. We appreciate every single one of you guys for being here. Win, lose, or draw. This has been another edition of Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.